Welcome back, everyone. This is Thomas Triple T Tie with another new bullish crypto analysis. Before we dig in and take a look at the crypto and equities market and Bitcoin, remember this is for edutainment only and not to be considered as financial advice. And also, when you feel value's been added or you want to help out with the YouTube algorithm to help promote my videos, feel free to smash the like, ring my bell, hit subscribe if you haven't, and share your thoughts and comments in the comment section or on Twitter. Let's dive in and take a look at the news first. Then we'll take a look at the markets charts and stuff. Back with the fancy slides because I got some feedback that you guys want to see the articles that I'm referring to. So yeah, it takes more time to prep, but let's roll with it. Let's start off with this CNBC article. They talked about fintech giant Stripe jumps into the crypto with a feature that lets Twitter users get paid in stablecoin. And if you don't know who Stripe is, they're one of the biggest company that processes merchant like credit cards and Discover card, credit cards like Discover, Visa, Mastercard. They process those transactions online for a lot of merchants. I use them myself. A great company, and they're a $95 billion company started by two brothers a while ago, and this would allow the merchants to pay. For example, like let's say I on my Twitter account I have like a commercial account or one of the what is it? I'm not too familiar with Twitter, but they have these functions where you can commercialize your account and you can pay people with Bitcoin or accept Bitcoin, etc. Similar to the Lightning Network, if you will. Anyways, they got their start in crypto back in January 2018. Well, actually before that, they got into it before that, and then they ended it in January 2018, citing extreme volatility in the and price swings, lack of efficiency in making everyday transaction, etc., etc. Anyways, they got out of it, and now 4 years later, they're back. So this is really good. Potentially, they could help merchants accept bitcoins or crypto in the long run, just as they do with fiat currencies, credit cards and stuff. The only challenge here is their fees are really high. So, but fantastic service though. Let's move on. According to Reuters, Kiev accused Moscow imperialism after generals southern Ukraine comment. What he said was basically they're gonna occupy Ukraine, specifically in the what is it, in Donbas and also Crimea area. So they're looking to occupy instead of Russia just lies a lot. They're just world's biggest liars. They previously claimed that they're gonna liberate Ukrainians, but really they're there to occupy. So we'll see what happens. The next few weeks will be critical, and it's really difficult to occupy a country. But now that they have narrowed down their targets to Crimea, which they annexed back in 2014, I think, and Donbas area, it's more localized, so it's easier to occupy versus trying to occupy a whole country. And they've pulled back significantly. According to Seeking Alpha, Fed will likely hike rates by 75 basis points in June and July, according to Nomura. So previously, the Fed in March they raised rates by 25 basis points. So they're easing into it, but as everyone saw that the inflation was skyrocketing to the recent one, 8.5. And they started warming up to 50 basis point. And now the 75 basis point is like the new normal. So we'll see what happens. And this is part of the reason why the stock market yesterday tanked so hard and pulled crypto with it as well. So the 5-year Treasury yield hit 3% following Powell's comments on hike rates, according to CNBC. So now, so the 5-year top 3%, and so that is higher than the 30-year. So what that created was the inversion. It previously was inverted, and so now it's inverted again. And so when you have an inversion like that, that just signals a possible recession. And the reason why the 5-year yield increase was yield moves opposite of price. So if the yield increases, price dropped. And the reason price dropped is because people got out of it. So they're looking at the short term and they're saying, well, this is, it's too volatile in the short term. So they sell their short-term positions in bonds, and that's why the yield increased and price dropped. So more selling, price drops. Similar to, it's like that for all assets. Shanghai escalates COVID lockdown restrictions. By the way, I put these backgrounds in different colors. So it shows the groupings of the news. So for example, blue is pretty much U.S. market type news. Red is China. Deep red is Russia. The communist colors. So yeah, that's why you see different backgrounds. So now Shanghai is talking about. First of all, they have been forcing residents from their homes into one. If they're infected, they force them into camps, if you will, makeshift camps, where they can monitor them and take them from their homes. Now they're planning to put electronic locks to help with the lockdown. They're placing electronic door alarm to prevent those infected from leaving. Yeah, you don't want to live in a communist country. I'm very thankful that I was able to immigrate to the United States, and it fundamentally changed my life and my family's life. But you do not want to live in a communist country. Speaking of Shanghai and China, this was a pretty cool article. And this was from, I can't remember where this came from. Oh, sorry. Dang it. I usually give them credit for where I got it from. Anyways, let's move on. This map, they showed 2019 to 2022. And it shows these are satellite maps. At least I got the names on here. So sorry. They show these maps where, and this is 2022, where you see these white dots here. Those are ships or transports for cargoes. And you see how they're just like piled up here in a bunch of white little dots. And this is the top of the map, and this is the bottom. Tons of little dots. That just shows these ships or the transports are just stalling. They're just stuck. And they're not moving because the ports can barely get cargoes in and out. So this is due to their China's zero COVID policy and their tight lockdowns. And this is it has impacted Shenzhen and Shanghai. And this is one of their worst COVID outbreaks since December of 2019. And they're taking cautionary measures, and their port is being impacted. First of all, they don't have enough employees, people working, and a lot of people being locked down. And so things are just stalling. So at first, when I looked at this map, I'm like, what am I looking at? And I started seeing these little white dots. Crazy, just like a bunch of little ants. And this is the sea here. The blackness is the sea. All right, next one. And this one's by Market Watch. And this article was really pretty interesting. Check it out. Go to Market Watch, and if you want more details, the title's called. It's right here. As Putin eyes a date to declare victory, here's the Ukraine scenario that would slam stock by another 10%. They talked about 3 scenarios, and I won't go through them because it's a pretty long article. But I want to focus on the last scenario, which is the worst, because we got to prepare for the worst. So the worst scenario is that the sanctions fail to work against Russia, and China boosts support for Moscow. If this doesn't happen, that's fine. But if you prepare for it, then you're good to go. So in this scenario, our fear are a disruption of European gas supply via Ukraine gas pipelines, NATO military intervention, and escalation of sanctions between U.S. and China. They predict that global growth would collapse and risk assets would see a 15 to 30% decline. Well, we used to that in crypto. But another 15 to 30% decline in risk assets would tank the crypto market even more, in my opinion. So we're looking at maybe like, if this worst case scenario happens, then crypto would probably tank another, from where we are, another 50% or maybe 40, 50%. So something to be prepared for. How do you prepare for this? Just monitor the news, monitor the macro environment, and decide when you want to exit and go to fiat, for example. Or you want to exit your positions in altcoins because they're going to drop fast unless they're like Luna or such. But Bitcoin probably dropped the least, or Luna. But if you have some crazy altcoins, you want to exit their position early and then wait for it to crash and then buy back in. This article is quite interesting. It's by Reuters, and it was a special report on how crypto giant Binance built ties to the Russian FSB-linked agency. FSB is Russia's like the old KGB, and basically they in April 2021, Russia's financial intelligence unit met in Moscow with the regional head of Binance, and basically they were discussing a lot of times these news articles that they spin it, or these politicians, they spin things in with regard to like something more grand, like fighting crime or fighting money laundering or such things. But ultimately, they have an ulterior motive. And basically, this article talked about the reason they met was because the Russian government, they were trying to find traces of millions of dollars in Bitcoin raised by the now jailed Russian opposition Alexei Navalny. So that was what they were doing. And Binance has denied that such interaction took place, but various people, handful of people close to the situation, confirmed that it did take place. Binance is an interesting company as the world's largest company, crypto company. I'll leave you to decide the rest for yourself. Related to Binance, Binance tells Russian users with over 10K in euro to withdraw everything. And this is not every Russian user, because Binance is still operating in Russia. This only applies to people on their sanction list, the West sanction list. So, yeah, Binance is still fully operational in Russia, whereas other companies have left. crypto. This article by Bleeping Computer, Coinbase plans to purchase the BTC Turk for $3.2 billion, and Turkey is a country with high adoption of crypto. Like their citizens are like one of the top in the world in investing in crypto. So makes sense to move into for Coinbase to move into Turkey and buy out BTC Turk. And BTC Turk is the largest and oldest exchange in Turkey. And this goes along with Coinbase's plan to expand to every country. And what's the easiest way to expand? To buy out another company. It's cheaper. And since the company is already abiding by local laws and all that stuff, it's so much easier. Goldman Sachs eye collaboration with crypto exchange FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried. And so they met and they discussed various things. I'll just summarize them for you. And this is an article on CoinDesk, so check it out if you want more details. So they met, and for potential collaboration, the two chief executives. Currently, FTX is valued at around $32 billion as of January. And so them meeting probably has a lot to do with potential IPO for FTX. And Goldman Sachs helped them with that. Goldman helped Coinbase launch their IPO. Additionally, the two also discussed collaborating in market making in crypto trades. Well, market making just means that they help them set buy and sell prices on certain assets to facilitate trades and to also provide liquidity in the market. Why is this important? Goldman Sachs is one of the biggest financial institutions in the world, and the fact that they're getting more involved in crypto and crypto companies is shows adoption and more stability, in my opinion. But in some regards, there could be more volatility in other regards, but that's a different story. The Bahamian government hopes to allow residents to pay taxes with digital assets in 2022, according to Cointelegraph. So what they're looking to do is allow people to pay taxes with their new CBDC or like Bitcoin or Ethereum. So that's pretty cool. Just more adoption. And that's the end of the market news. I hope this provided a visual for you so you don't have to see my face while I talk. So let's go to the market analysis and take a look. This screenshot was from when I did the snapshot. I'm not sure how much has changed because I've been doing this analysis here, but basically, crypto market, blood red today. Bitcoin 39.7. It was as low as 39.1, down for 4.12%. Dominance 40.71. Ethereum is down to 2,976. Dominance 1932. Luna also down to 94.78. Yeah, almost everything's down. These are stable coins here. These are too small for me to see. So, yeah, not a good day for Bitcoin crypto market. In the here's the market cap. Let me zoom in for you. Here we go. Market cap down to 1.86 trillion. This is probably the lowest in the last couple of days. And here you can see the different coins that dropped. USDC, that's a stable coin, so ignore that. But almost every coin lost money, dropped in their market cap here. So we got outflows of money out of the crypto market. And This is the U.S. stock market, blood red. A few spots here that are green, but overall like blood red. So, a horrible, horrible day for for investors. Let's take a look at the chart here. Let's start with the watch list. Obviously, Nasdaq index, S&P 500 index, Dow Jones index, average index, all down. Pretty high numbers too, over 2% in all of them. And VIX skyrocketed. Look at that, 28.21. And for those of you who don't know, VIX is the volatility index. It describes how volatile the equities market is, and 30 is the start of very volatile. And the fact that it was recently below 20 and now up at 28, that's a big jump. And that jump is 24.38% increase. That's extreme volatility. Here's DXDY here, up 0.39, and we'll see that over here in a second. U.S. 10-year yield, it dropped after an increase yesterday. It dropped by 0.3. Let me make sure here. Dropped by 34 basis point or 0.34%, and it's down to 2.90. You can see here all the big companies: Apple, Tesla, Netflix, all down. U.S. oil is hanging just above 100 at 101.68, down 2.32. And gold is also down, down by just over 1%. Silver's down by over 2%. And let's take a look at the currencies here. Euro versus the dollar. Euro's weaker than the dollar by about 33 basis points, or 0.33%. The pound versus the dollar, a pound's weaker than the dollar by 1.51%, and the dollar versus the yen, dollar stronger by 0.13%. So lots of reds over here, but the greens are the VIX green in green. You don't want to see VIX in green. So let's hop over here and take a look at the trends. So we have Bitcoin here dropping yesterday at market opening, stabilized, crashed sideways, and then at market opening today dropped again, and then has consolidated since. So let's take a look at the three indexes. Nasdaq index dropped yesterday, and today opened below yesterday and dropped again. Same thing happened with SPX. Similar pattern with the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Yeah, so they tanked and there was no recovery. They didn't even chop sideways. So how does that look compared to positive correlation with Bitcoin? The drop is a positive correlation, but Bitcoin bounced back up slightly and consolidated while the rest didn't bounce at all. So mostly positive correlation is in place. Let's take a look at the Dixie. Dixie, yesterday at market opening, just before market opening, it rose and continued to rise. Then consolidated here, and then rose again, dropped slightly, and then at market opening rose and then consolidated and slightly dropped. Negative correlation with Bitcoin, pretty much in play overall. So that's holding. Let's look at the U.S. 10-year yield. Yesterday, it reached a recent high, and then dropped, and then today picked back up slightly after market open. Well, actually, it dropped during market opening and then picked back up slightly, but didn't recover to its previous day's high. Okay, so overall, how does it look in the U.S.? Dollar strong, crypto and equities horrible. So that's what it says. Let's go over to Europe. We got UK 100 index dropping. It had a little bit of recovery towards here, and then dropped. You see that? And here the DAX continued to drop. CAC from France continue to drop here. And the SXXP, Stoke 600, it's dropping, continue to drop. Let's go over to Australia. Australia is dropping and consolidated a little bit here. And then Nikkei 225 dropped and then kind of had a slight recovery. KOSPI here dropped, slight recovery. Hang Seng HSI dropped, slight recovery. CSI 300 from Shanghai, slight recovery, still at the bottom of its range. So if we look at all these, what do we see? 7-day period, they're at the lows. This one's in the middle of the range. This one's somewhat on the lower half. This one's on the lower end, and this one here, CSI 300, is on the lower end. So tough. The markets are tough right now across the world. It's either at the bottom of the range or towards the middle, if on a positive index. So really tough day tough couple of days for the markets across the world, including crypto. And that's it for the news and the analysis of the market. And this is one of 3 videos today. The remaining ones are Bitcoin's daily analysis and Phantom Friday weekly analysis. So I appreciate your time. Help me with the Google, YouTube algorithm, and smash that like, ring my bell, hit subscribe if you haven't, and share your thoughts in the comment section. And I'll see you in the next video later today. Peace.